Happy Tuesday. We are in the midst of difficult times, and I don't have to explain any of that to any of you, I'm sure. Today is just a quick opportunity to check in and to ask you a very serious question. And the question is, how are you doing? Not just on the surface, not just what you might tell people in passing, but the question is, how are you? I think at this point in time, in everything that we have endured in 2020, the question is very valid. There is a rise of mental health issues, of loneliness, of negative feeling and output. So I wanted to spend a couple minutes with you today just sharing a couple thoughts. As someone who has dealt with anxiety and depression, I understand where you might be right now. And I understand what it might feel like to be sitting next to someone and completely feel alone. I wanted to connect with you. You are the people I'm talking to right now. And I also want to connect with those of you who love people who deal with anxiety and depression. You are not alone. And I will say that as often as I need to. You are not alone. Many moments of this pandemic, of this isolation, of this needing to socially distance have been difficult for many of us. And I am lucky that my work has been abundant and I have been busy, and I'm in a space that I feel good. I know that that's not always the norm. And so I want to remind us all that compassion goes a long way, that grace and understanding goes a long way, and that each of us are dealing with this time differently. Some of us really isolated and alone, some of us feeling anxiety and fear around the pandemic itself, some of us dealing with the fear and the unknown of our political and racial climate, some of us dealing with all of it. And I wanted today to serve as a reminder that we're all in this together. We are all doing this together. Every step of this is something that every single one of us is going through, whether you're going through all of those things or one of those things. We're all in this. And I think the most important thing we can do right now for each other is to connect and to build our sense of community. When I did my TEDx talk at the end of last year, I talked about loneliness and how we are facing this epidemic of loneliness right now. And this was the end of last year. Imagine what that would have looked like now. Doing the research today, I'm sure the numbers are way higher than they were then. But the idea behind the epidemic of loneliness and trying to find ways to really fix that and to bridge those gaps that we're all feeling. One of the things that I talked about was connection, and really understanding that if we just took a couple minutes to connect with each other, even if it has to be like this, eye to eye, face to face, real connection, we will bridge that gap and the divide that we all feel in being so disconnected right now. I often say we are the most technologically connected society ever, and yet we stand in the midst of being the most disconnected at the same time. And so what do we do with that? I think connection is key. I also think building communities around you is the second piece to that. finding the communities that you belong to. We are all members of so many different communities, whether it's race or religion or sexuality or any of it. I mean, the list can go on and on, but we are all members of each of those communities in different ways. And the intersections at which those communities meet makes up all of the different complexities of who we are. So to be able to label ourselves by just one thing would be wrong and incorrect. And so if we can find ways to meet each other at those intersections, we build community and we build connection. And I think right now more than ever, we all need that. So maybe today is a day that you pick up the phone instead of sending a text. Today is the day that you video call instead of just a regular phone call. Today is the day that you look someone in the eyes and say, I see you. Because every single one of us wants so badly to be seen, and we want to be listened to because it validates our very own human experience. It says to others, I see you, and you are here, and you are real, and you are important. Don't let that piece be lost on you right now. I see you. You are real. You are valid. I listen. I'm here. Reach out if I can do anything to help. You are and will never be alone.